morning. It's 10 a.m. and I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Directors Friday, August 22nd, 2025. Please note this meeting is being recorded. Thank you to everyone joining us today in person and through our audio option. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. Starting with Director Devlin.
Here.
Engardio.
Here.
Garbarina.
Here.
Giudice.
Here.
Hardiman. Absent. Hernandez.
Here.
Maston.
Here.
Moulton Peters.
Here.
Parr.
Present.
Parrish is absent. Rodoni.
Here.
Sauter is absent. Snyder.
Here.
Thier is absent. Second Vice President Rabbit is absent. First Vice President Hill is absent. President Cochran.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum.
Thank you. As a reminder, please be sure to turn on your mic when we open up for director's discussion so everyone can hear. Please raise your hand and the secretary or I will call on you. And accordingly, if we miss you, please speak up. Following any discussion, we will take the appropriate vote. Please follow along by reference to the page number located at the bottom right-hand corner of your meeting packet. Director Devlin, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 4, public comment. But due to the large number of people that we have wishing to comment today, in order to allow the maximum number of speakers, I'd like to ask each caller and person to limit their comments to 1 minute or less. Awful difficult. But we have allotted 30 minutes for public comments, and we may need to have a motion to have change the agenda for a little more. With that, Madam Secretary, please continue.
Right. So we're going to move on to item number 4. It's public comment for any and all items on today's agenda, as well as addressing this body. And I'm going to call on the names of the folks that are in the room first. And then we're going to move on to the phone line to call individuals one at a time. And I'm going to ask that you approach the little stand there to turn on the mic. And when it's green, that means it's live. Dave's helping me out over there. Thank you. And I'm going to introduce the first person, who is Karen Seidman.
I'm Karen Seidman. I'm a resident of West Marin and San Francisco. And I'm here today to ask you to drop the restitution claims for several reasons. First of all, it's unprecedented. In the lustrous history of the Golden Gate Bridge, never before has this happened. There's been many protests. Never have restitution claims been levied, including in 2021 when there was a protest that both stopped traffic and resulted in injury to at least 5 people. There were no restitution claims. So one has to ask now. There's incongruence here and people are noticing it. And I think we all need to take a step back and look at this in the bigger picture. Yes, this was an inconvenience, and it pales in comparison to the inconvenience, in quotation, of Palestinian families being wiped out as we sleep, children being bombed as we're sleeping with our taxpayer dollars, children being starved. Everything pales in comparison comparing to that. I stand here today as a Jewish American, and my grandparents came to this country to escape pogroms and the Holocaust. And I say this because I think it's important for us to embody Jewish values and American values, humanitarian values, and stand up for what's right, which is dignity and the right to life for all people. And
thank you.
History doesn't look kindly on people in the Third Reich who did nothing. And I think we need to look carefully at what's happening now with a historical lens. There's a chance to do the right thing here.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to just finish one thing. These young people stood up for their conscience and for what's right, thinking beyond themselves, and the response has been draconian. Judge Conroy has pointed out that it's costing taxpayers way more money to go forward with proceedings than the restitution claims. So there's an opportunity to do the right thing.
Would you please conclude?
There's an opportunity to
You doubled
do the
your
right
time,
thing
so let
for
someone else.
history, practically for taxpayers. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Seidman. Thank you, Ms. Seidman. And I apologize for the pronunciation for anyone's name. The next person is Bella Lenestor.
Hello, board members. Every day, a member of my family crosses the Golden Gate Bridge. My children are the seventh generation of the San Francisco and Marine family with a long history of contributing to the Bay Area through real estate development and philanthropy. I am shocked that the board has not dropped the heavy debt restitution claim against the Golden Gate 26. These individuals were arrested for trying to open our eyes on tax day about the use of our tax dollars in the genocide in Palestine. They are paying a heavy price for their courage. This 162,000 restitution demand is unique. According to your own records, there have been multiple past protests that closed traffic on the bridge, yet not once was restitution imposed. So why now? Worse, the claim is costing the public even more. Because of it, the Golden Gate 26 are being forced to try. And on November 22nd, Judge Conroy stated that he could not reduce their felony charges to misdemeanors specifically because of the high restitution you are requesting. Internationally, it is now recognized that what is happening in Palestine is indeed a genocide. You must ask yourself, do you want this bridge, a global symbol of San Francisco, to be remembered for punishing 26 advocates? Or do you want to be remembered for standing on the right side of history?
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. Next speaker we have is Marissa Lavagna.
Hi, I'm speaking here as a mother and a conscious citizen of the Bay Area. Our current political climate is extremely dangerous right now. The moral compass speaks out, their moral compass speaks out against what is genocide, starvation, bombings, and displacement and deaths of thousands of Palestinians. This group did not act out of self-interest, but out of love, empathy, and unshakable sense of responsibility to humanity. They are citizens of deep integrity and compassion who sought to improve the lives of others who are suffering. They made a huge sacrifice. The weight of a felony and heavy restitution would have a devastating consequence on their futures. For these reasons, I urge you with all sincerity to drop the restitution claim and felony charges against this group, to punish them this severely for following their conscience in pursuit of peace and justice is to silence the very voices our world needs now.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mimi Klausner.
Hi, my name is Mimi Klausner. Appreciate it if people could put down their cell phones while I talk. Thank you. I've lived in San Francisco since 1985, and I am also Jewish. And the reason why I mention that is because a lot of times people who are pro-Palestinian are accused of anti-Semitism. I just want to say unequivocally that that is inaccurate. Two things. Consistency. Government bodies need to apply regulations and rules in a consistent manner to ensure that we have a just and equitable system, liberty and justice for all. And this doesn't seem to be the case here. The second reason that I stand here is to say that people engage in civil disobedience when other means of influencing public policy fail. The 26 people arrested had all taken previous action to stop the genocide that is happening in Palestine. None of these means worked. At some point, you have to say, at least I have to say to myself, what can I do to help prevent something that is so morally objectionable that I cannot tolerate it any longer? In this case, it was nonviolently stopping traffic on our iconic Golden Gate Bridge. People need to do what they can from their particular position to stop unmentionable injustice.
Thank you for your comments.
Okay, I just have
over your limit.
Okay, just one more little thing. I ask you to ask yourselves, by rescinding the fine, am I helping or hindering people from expressing the opinion that the genocide of Palestinians is wrong? I think the answer is definitively that canceling the fine or restitution is an act of courage that only each one of you can make. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Wynn Hoffman. Wynn Hoffman. Hi, my name is Wynn Kaufman, and I'm here today to ask you to have the moral clarity now, not in some distant future, maybe even near future, where everybody will have been against this genocide. I want to bring Palestine into the room right now. Imagine Gaza. It is almost completely in rubble. People are starving. Over 60,000, probably many more have been killed, 83% of them civilians. The Golden Gate 26 saw this moral imperative over a year ago and was trying to open the eyes of the world to it. They risked what they're going through right now. And I ask you to stand on the right side of history and support the protest against genocide. I also want to mention that I am Jewish, and that is why I'm here and in support of the Golden Gate 26 and against the genocide in Palestine. And I ask you to join me. Thank you.
Thank
you. The next speaker is Paula Rainley. Paula Rainley.
Appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. I want you to know I never before supported wholeheartedly an action that would interfere with people's movement on any major artery, let alone a bridge. But when I woke up on tax day to the news that the bridge was being blocked, I was overjoyed, only because I had been so distressed, as was everyone I knew, with the news of the unfolding genocide. It was clear that we were unable to get the attention of our legislators, members, of our representatives in Washington, let alone the White House. And we all felt helpless. And waking up to that news gave me a little bit of hope. And I hope that you can see, especially now, how prescient the courageous 26 were to take those actions, along with others, to do this really pointed action to draw attention to the suffering. It's the moral issue of our day and has been. And I hope you will be able to have courage, really do an important action to drop these restitution requirements. I think, as others have said, the bridge is such a symbol.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. And we need our free speech. Thank you.
Next speaker is Paula. I'm sorry if I pronounce this wrong. Papermaster.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Papermaster, and this is my service dog, Lucky.
rescue from Korea. I think we should honor the courage that we've seen displayed by the people who blocked the bridge. I, too, would not want to inconvenience folks. Honestly, that's not a tactic that I use with Code Pink. I'm the Code Pink coordinator in the Bay Area. We stand up against the people making the decisions to kill and starve children in Gaza. But these young activists and all of these activists who took this act of courage are to be commended. They followed their hearts. They took a risk, and it's unprecedented for you to punish them in this way. I want you to please think about how proud you should actually feel of people who take a stand like this, risking their careers, risking everything. Please drop the restitution charges. Please do that.
Thank you. The next speaker is Iman Khalil. Iman Khalil. Oh, there we go.
Hi, my name is Iman Khalil. I'm a respiratory therapist. I work at St. Francis Hospital and the burn unit, and I work at San Leandro Hospital. I wanted to talk about the fact that a lot of hospitals were bombed in Gaza. And if you work in the burn unit, it's devastating. The smell of the burning flesh, the pain that the patients are in. And we have everything we need here to make people more comfortable, and aid is being blocked in Palestine. So when I'm telling you we did everything we possibly could leading up to the Golden Gate Bridge blockage, we went to every city council meeting. We went and made phone call after phone call. We wrote letters. We marched every weekend. And nothing was making a dent. We really tried. And when you see other doctors and medics and nurses and patients especially being killed and nothing's being done and they're being targeted and you're just trying to do the right thing and nobody's listening, and then your taxes from the paycheck that you're getting when you're working at the hospital is going towards this. It's very frustrating. And so I'm asking y'all to please drop the restitution. Be on the right side of history, because 20 years from now, they're going to be talking about all the hospitals that were bombed, all the patients that were killed, all the doctors that were killed, all the nurses and the paramedics. And it's grotesque. So I'm just imploring with y'all to please see it within your heart to be on the right side of history. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Pam, I think, Satterthwaite.
Hi, it's Pam Satterthwaite, and I'm here on my own. Basically, I just wanted to remind everyone here also of the precedent that this sets for future actions of things that may be closer to people's hearts than what was taken a year ago. That specifically, I mean, I'm a union member, and I think that that's an area where we need to have these kind of places where things can be done that are noticed by people. And the problem with free speech is you need to keep it. You can't just assume you have it. So I'm really concerned about the precedent that this large of a restitution claim sets for other people who are trying to make any kind of statement at all. But that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next speaker is Emily Ross.
Morning. My name is Emily. I'm a lifelong Bay Area resident. As such, I've been over this beautiful bridge many, many times. I've sat in traffic many, many times for less compelling reasons than the stoppage on April 15th, 2024, when a group of courageous individuals took action, nonviolent action, to bring attention to the genocide in Gaza. you've heard a lot of people speak to why you should drop the restitution claim. I'm sort of lending my voice to that. It's not too late to be on the right side of this. I know you're all watching what's happening as our residents, our neighbors are at risk of government repression all the time. And it's not just about Palestine, it's about a lot of things. So please use your power to not set this precedent and drop the restitution claim. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Hunter Taylor Black. Hunter Taylor Black. Hi, welcome.
Hi, my name is Hunter and I'm a San Francisco resident. In this board's history, you have never set restitution for a protest action. That includes the anti-vax protest which injured 3 bridge workers. If you won't drop the claim for moral reasons, do it because it's a smart business decision. History will not look kindly on your involvement in this escalating repression, and you know that. Your own website highlights past protests on the bridge, recognizing that civil disobedience is central to democracy and this city's history. When questions arise, and they already are, about why local officials use hundreds of thousands of taxpayer funds to prosecute peaceful activists on behalf of a foreign dictatorship, you will need an answer. It would be far better to say, we listened to our residents, we corrected our course, we followed our precedent. Don't waste hundreds of thousands of my taxpayer dollars trying to justify an unjust, politically motivated prosecution. Drop the restitution. Do what's right for yourself and for the city of San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person, next speaker is Nick Dorenzi. Nick Dorenzi.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, Board, for having us. My name is Nick Dorenzi. I'm a resident of San Francisco, just on this side of the bridge in the Richmond district. And I'm here to ask you to drop the restitution on my community, on all of us, because it's not just them who are on trial, it's our whole community. Any actions that are taken after this precedent is set will undoubtedly have this over our heads of who's going to come out of the woodwork to claim that we owe them money. The amount of money that you're asking for now, it doesn't make sense. Folks went through with their tolls. All of your reports from the financial committees say that you're on par with what you projected for the year on your income from the tolls. I know in the court you've talked about you may have to close a bus line, but through the mascot program, you're already planning to close 3 and consolidate them. So it just doesn't make sense. And also it's just dangerous for our democracy. Like there is literally every day new tactics, laws coming out of the White House and other right-wing jurisdictions are trying to limit our ability to raise our voice and to shape the world around us. And this restitution charge is part of that oppression. We really are compelling you to, don't stick yourself in the corner on the downhill turn that is the district attorney of San Francisco. Don't be attached to her history, because that is what she's using you for, is her plan, her, continued fight to oppress us. And she's going to drag you down in the mud with her historically. So think about your own future. Think about how you'd like to be written into the history books. And we really compel you to please drop the restitution. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Steffi Brock-Wilson.
Good morning. Thanks for having public comment. I'm also here to urge you to drop the restitution charges. And as we've heard, this is new. The board has never set any restitution for any traffic closure. And I just want to talk about, there is a precedent for changing course and doing the right thing. In 2014, the BART Board of Directors dropped their restitution claim against 14 racial justice activists who shut down the West Oakland BART station for several hours. Changing course shows integrity, not weakness, and let us here, coming for public comment on a Friday morning, be the instigator to change course and drop the restitution claim. I stand with the Golden Gate 26 for protesting and being brave and protesting against the genocide of Palestinians. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Jane Hood. Jane Hood. Jane Hood. Hood. Jane Hood.
Good morning, Board of Directors. My name is Jane Hood, and I'm here joining the many others to call on you to drop the restitution charges against the 26 protesters who protested on tax day at the Golden Gate Bridge. I am a resident of the East Bay, but I'm a worker in San Francisco County, and my commute sometimes takes me across that Golden Gate Bridge. I have sat in traffic on that Golden Gate Bridge. I can tell you, of all the many experiences of my life, traffic is not something that is particularly a memorable one. They have moved on with their lives. The people who were inconvenienced that day have moved on. What will be remembered are the 26 brave protesters who took the right side of history and stood up against the Palestinian genocide. On your own website, you have a historical timeline that shows the key dates in Bridge District history. I took a look at it. This is not the first protest that shut down the bridge and inconvenienced people. And this is the first one where there are hundreds of thousands of dollars of restitution charges against these people. So please drop the charges. Do not wait until your historians in 20 or 30 years write about this incident to understand that it is not fair to change precedent on political charges and adding additional money for protesters. Do the right thing now. Drop the charges. Do not write a dangerous new chapter in your history timeline of the Golden Gate Bridge. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Reed Wang, W-A-N-G, Reed.
Hi, everyone. My name is Reed. I was born in the Bay Area. I'm just here to add my voice to the demand that you drop the restitution charges against the Golden Gate 26. I want to say that protest is not just an aesthetic. Protests are meant to disrupt. Protests are meant to inconvenience. Any protest that doesn't accomplish those things is a parade. And in the face of genocide in Palestine, in Sudan, and in the Congo, and in growing authoritarianism back home in the United States, it is important that we're not just satisfied with parades. We need to support protests. We need to allow free speech. Please drop the restitution charges against the Golden Gate 26.
Thank you. The next speaker, I have no last name, but it's Emma. Thank you. Emma, go ahead.
Good morning. I'm here, along many others, to speak on behalf of the Golden Gate 26 and ask for the restitution charges to be dropped. I'm born and raised in the Bay Area, and the spirit of social justice, that's a fundamental part of what it means to be from this place, is something that I've always been proud about coming from here. And the Golden Gate Bridge is an iconic symbol of this place. The action that the 26 took to stand up against the genocide was a profound embodiment of this principle, and these restitution charges are just contributing to a growing culture of repression and fascism, frankly, that's happening here at home in the United States. It's crucial that we're protecting our right to dissent right now, and I ask you all, as everyone else has said, to stand on the right side of history and embody the values of social justice and progress that is core of what it means to be from the Bay Area. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Talia Isaacson. Talia Isaacson.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Talia. I live in Oakland. I'm Jewish as well, as some other folks here. I also have a stutter. I hate public speaking, and I'm here in the spirit of being courageous, which I also encourage all of you to do by changing your mind. I think changing one's mind is a courageous thing. I feel compelled by the bridge's history as a site of protest, like others here. It's clear from your website that you do too. On the website's key dates page, you include many protests as part of the bridge's history. Among these protests is one from 1996, in which the actor Woody Harrelson and 8 others scaled the bridge to protest the logging of the Headwaters Forest. Their actions did result in traffic being stopped for hours, yet they face no restitution charges whatsoever. It's hard not to compare that action to this one. Somehow, when a white man protests to save the trees, he's met with lenience. But when it comes to the cause of Palestine, when it comes to people being murdered and a genocide being enacted by the state of Israel and our U.S. tax dollars, there is no lenience to be found. Allowing the restitution claim to persist against the Golden Gate 26 is a direct blow to the bridge's long lineage of being a site of protest. This feels like a huge loss, especially as our nation is facing increasing levels of repression of free speech and dissent, as others have said. So yeah, I would encourage you to change your mind. I really don't think it's too late. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The next speaker is Liv Kunis Berkowitz.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Liv. I live in Oakland, and my parents live here in SF. I'm here asking you from the bottom of my heart to drop the restitution. As a Jewish person, I grew up wondering how the Holocaust could happen. I remember asking my parents this as a child. It's not hypothetical for me. In 1942, my grandma's aunt and first cousin were kidnapped and sent to Auschwitz, where no one heard from them again. And over the last 2 years, my heart has broken as I've understood how a genocide comes to happen, as I've watched the Israeli military, with billions and billions of U.S. funding, destroy hospitals and universities and mosques and churches and homes and homes and homes and babies and babies and babies. Why can't we stop this? I ask this every single day. And part of the answer is because of the horrific repression against those brave enough to speak out. Activists are detained, activists are kidnapped, activists are punished with trumped-up charges, activists are slapped with exorbitant restitution fees. And this silences the people. And what a dangerous time to silence the people who are brave enough to speak out for justice when we are in the midst of authoritarianism and fascism. And so my prayer, and I'm a religious Jewish person, and so I speak in terms of prayer, is that the Bay Area and all of its institutions, including the bridge, which is the symbol of this city, stand on the side of justice, stand as a bulwark against authoritarianism. And with this prayer in mind, I ask you all to look within yourselves, within your hearts, and take one small action towards justice by doing all you can to drop these charges.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sarah Bartunek.
So, good morning. I've lived in San Francisco for the last 14 years. I work and live in the city as a nurse. My husband and I use the Golden Gate Bridge for both personal and professional use along many of our friends and have experienced countless episodes of traffic. And we're able to redirect just like everyone else. Importantly, this board has never set restitution for any traffic closure case. This includes an anti-vaccine protest in 2021 that led to the injury of 5 people, including 3 of your own bridge workers. When I first heard that the protest was taking place, I felt immense pride that so many young Bay Area adults would take the time to elevate awareness. They were some of the first Americans to stand up and say that the Gaza war is clearly a genocide of the Palestinian people. This restitution is highly overstated, given this was a peaceful demonstration. In fact, your website shows numerous protests that have taken place on the Golden Gate Bridge since its construction in 1933. So I again request you drop the restitution claim. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Sabrina Beur. Hopefully I'm pronouncing the last name right. Sabrina, B-E-U-R, I believe.
Sabrina. Thank you all for being here today. I think we all answer for the decisions we make in life. You might answer to yourself, to your community, to your family, to your God. This is one of those moments where you are going to answer to yourself. If I have children one day, I hope that when they ask, because they will ask, that when I have the opportunity to do the right thing, that I have the courage to do the right thing. And that is what is put forth to you today, to drop the restitution claim. I think we all look back at moments in history and think that we would have been on the right side, that we would have supported civil disobedience. That history moment is right now. So please have the courage to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jared Hashimi. Jared Hashimi. Welcome, Jared.
Hello, I'm Jawad, and I'm president of Oakland.
I wanted to urge you to drop the restitutions, please. The courageous soul saw families in Gaza being bombed, starved, and murdered by the help of our tax money and felt compelled to act. The restitutions is an attempt to silence moral courage with financial ruin. Protest, especially when it's trying to face us with uncomfortable truths, has always been disruptive. But disruption is how change begins. Imagine, I just want to picture a scene for you. Imagine for a moment that your family was being murdered, God forbid, on the side of the road. Would you not drop everything and try every measure, including stopping traffic, which is the smallest thing you would do, to force people to stop, to look, to care? Wouldn't you do that? And this is what these people did. They placed their own safety and freedom at risk to cry out against unimaginable violence that is happening. Please be courageous and do the right thing as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Catherine Doyen, D-O-Y-E-N, Catherine Doyen.
Pat, I think you know I'm here. With all these fine folks, I hope you're really listening. I am not a resident of San Francisco. I am a lifelong Bay Area resident. I live in Alameda County. And you would think that if you're seeing a bunch of people being murdered with our tax dollars and our public officials aren't listening, stopping traffic is as we just heard, the very least you can do. So hearing that there are charges of over $160,000 for these 22 people who stopped traffic along with many others on that day last year, when this has never happened before in the history of the Golden Gate Bridge, the restitution, I mean, stopping traffic in terms of trying to stand up for something that is meaningful, trying to stop the murder of other people, that has happened, but these charges never have. So I hope you're listening. I hope you're paying attention to what the people want. And I hope that you're actually taking this into your heart and you're not just being paid by someone else who's like, it's fine. We can just make their thing happen. Like we really, really need to be listening to what people want. And it's honestly cowardly not to. It would be really weird for y'all not to drop these charges. Like it would be honestly saying that you support what's happening in Gaza, which is inhumane to say the very least. So I just want to add my voice to all of the rest today, the other days that folks are showing up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having an open public comment because, as you know, free speech is very important. The right to protest is very important. And punitively and financially damaging the folks that are trying to use that right to protest is a very dangerous precedent to set. So I hope you can keep that in mind.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here.
Our next speaker is Susan Witka. Susan Witka.
Short, but the wrong people are being charged. The wrong people were arrested. Our senators, Padilla and Schiff, have been voting for weapons to Israel, knowingly that there's a genocide going on. They've been accepting money, AIPAC money from Israel. What else is there to do? The people need to stop this. Our representatives are not stopping it. The wrong people are being charged. Drop the charges.
Thank you. The next speaker is Ching Meng. Ching, go ahead. I do have one more speaker card after this. I don't have a name, so if you haven't been called upon, I'm going to ask that you speak after Ching. So just wanted to let you know someone had filled out a speaker card with no name.
Good morning, everyone. I wasn't planning to speak today, but as I heard all the other people making the public comments, I feel compelled to express my view on this thing. So when I drove here this morning, I heard the news. It has been on the news all the time about the famine happened in Gaza area, and I think these 26 people were really foreseeing the things happening in the future. Their courage, their courageous behavior. I think if you did not recognize that when the restitution was posed earlier, I think this is the opportunity for all of us to rethink. You can make the change right now. And I've been working in the Bay Area for 25 years. And the only thing I learned, the most important thing I learned is change is the norm. So I think this is a very good opportunity for all of you to think about the change you can make. And the last, I want to mention a butterfly effect. If you know about that butterfly effect, a tiny change can trigger a big consequence in a complex system. This might be all of us opportunity to change the course in that area, the war, the famine. You can do what you can do. You have more power than you have. Do your thing, make your butterfly effect. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I do have one more speaker card, as I mentioned. I have no name, but I filled out a Contra Costa County resident. If there's anyone here who has not spoken yet, maybe?
I am a Contra Costa resident. I'm sorry, I forgot to put my name on there.
That's okay.
My name doesn't matter, but it's Tarnell Abbott. And I am a fourth generation Bay Area resident. I do believe the Golden Gate Bridge belongs to the people of California. This restitution is a disproportional penalty. What would you do if a child was in danger of being killed? Would you break a law to save a child? 18,000 children at the least have been killed in Gaza by the state of Israel, funded by U.S. dollars, funded by U.S. taxpayers' dollars. It is our moral obligation to do whatever we can to save the citizens, the private individuals who are not combatants in Gaza. This is our job. This is what we need to do. If we allow genocide to continue anywhere, we could be the next victims of genocide. I'm a librarian by trade. I've actually read some of the transcripts of the Nuremberg trials. You don't want to be in the Nuremberg trials of the future. Silence is complicity, and you will be held as complicit in the genocide along with the other people who are not doing their job and standing up to stop it. So don't make these young people pay disproportionately. And when we say be on the right side of history, that's what we mean. You need to support us in making this war and this horror, this nightmare, this genocide. It takes great courage, and it takes fortitude. It takes courage to be out protesting, and it takes courage to be, in a bureaucratic sense, standing up and supporting those who cry out against the injustice. Thank you.
For your comment.
Thank you. That concludes all the commenters in the room. If you didn't get a chance to speak and you do want to speak, I'm going to ask that once we move into the public comments that are on the phone line, that you reach out to Thomas and fill out a card or put your name on a list so that we can capture you on the other end after we finish the ones on the phone that have been waiting patiently. So thank you. Thank you all for coming. That's number one. Thank you all for taking the time to be here and testifying with us today. Justine, I'm going to move on to the public line, and I'm going to have you in a second introduce your first speaker on your line, and when you're done, I'm imagining you may have to poll again. Okay? Yes. And
yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is correct. I appreciate it. Our first speaker this morning is Dave Rohde. Mr. Rohde, please go ahead. Dave Rohde, please go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Dave Rohde. I'm the San Francisco Policy Co-Chair for the Climate Reality Project. With all due respect to the passionate speakers this morning, I need to continue with a campaign that I began 6 years ago today. August 2019, 10 of us petitioned this board to develop a climate action plan. September 2019, by unanimous vote, this board passed a climate emergency resolution. March 2024, you passed your strategic initiative plan calling for an environmentally sustainable business model and green transportation options for bridge, bus, and ferry operations. March 2025, 20 Bay Area climate groups petitioned you to transition to electric ferries. This summer, Knee Deep Times Magazine published my article praising Bay Area Ferry Service for its rapid electric emissions-free initiative and calling out the Bridge District for not following suit. In the past month, climate activists began calling on me to organize a protest at your San Francisco ferry terminal. You will be hearing from me about these plans. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Our next speaker this morning is Mia Khan. Mia, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Mia Khan, and I was born and raised in San Francisco and work locally in community mental health. I urge the Golden Gate Bridge Board of Directors to immediately drop the restitution claim against the Golden Gate 26. Today, your board is demanding that these brave individuals who stopped the world for Gaza pay $162,500 for toll revenue loss. This restitution creates a precedent that squashes our city, our country's powerful history of public protest. Imagine what this city, this country would look like without the civil rights protests, anti-war, AIDS, all the protests. This restitution claim is creating a terrifying precedent that squashes this history and of people's right to protest. The Golden Gate 26 protesters had the moral clarity and conscious dignity to protest the U.S. tax dollars funding a genocide. 70,000 people have been killed in Gaza, more than the population of the entire Sunset District gone. Board members, you have the power and opportunity to make a choice. Please don't gloss over today's speakers. You have the power. How will you use it? Make a motion to drop the restitution. Take a vote, whatever you need to do. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Our next speaker this morning is Michael Lyon. Michael, please go ahead.
The fascist repression of immigrants, protesters, and academics isn't just coming from Washington. It's also coming from San Francisco. And we know that you are under pressure from the San Francisco DA. Every week, the genocide in Gaza and the settler violence in the West Bank grows worse. The restitution was a bad decision when you made it, but it's infinitely worse now. Drop the restitution and felony charges.
Thank you, Michael. Our next speaker is Sarah Lee. Sarah, go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Sarah Lee. I'm an immigrant justice worker in San Francisco, resident in Marin County. And as I see the intensifying repression on the immigrant community and people of conscience, I think it's so shameful that the Golden Gate Board District has also stooped so low to participate in this repression as well. And this is nearly 2 years into the U.S.-backed genocide and the man-made famine that we're seeing now in Gaza. It's really shameful for the district to continue to hold this absurd and unprecedented restitution claim on people who took a brave stance to call us back to our own humanity, to be in solidarity with Palestine, to demand an end to this genocide. The district can and must reverse course, and I add to the chorus of voices today to drop the restitution now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Our next speaker this morning is Camille Sacristan. Camille, go ahead, please.
Hi, good morning. My name's Camille. I'm calling to also add my voice to urge you all to drop the restitution claim against the Golden Gate 26. Over the last 2 years, many of us have been so horrified watching Palestinians bombed, maimed, starved, and displaced with increasing force even now. And this is an act of violence that the United States has backed with its dollars and laws and weapons. We called our senators, we asked them to stop the genocide, we called our representatives, we emailed them, we showed up in their offices, We tried to use the avenues available to leverage our people power and to our elected officials, but it made no difference. Biden kept sending more and more money to Israel, more and more weapons, vocalized unyielding support for the state enacting this violence. So it makes sense to protest. It makes sense to be angry at the bare minimum. It makes sense to disrupt business as usual. In the face of genocide, business should be disrupted. I've heard so many people today talk about how hearing that there was a protest on tax day inspired them toward action and gave them hope. And these protesters took a huge risk. Being humans who care shouldn't have to be on the schedule of business. The Bay Area is a highly visible part of the United States. Everyone knows the Golden Gate Bridge. This sets a precedent. Many people have said. Thank you. Please drop the charges.
Thank you, Camille. Our next speaker this morning is Ash Wagner. Ash, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Ash, and I'm a resident of Berkeley. I'm here to also ask you to immediately drop the restitution claim against the Golden Gate 26. A friend emailed me from the West Bank earlier this week and wrote, "How do we apologize to all the people in Palestine for watching their filmed and televised deaths and not grinding everything to a halt in order to make it stop? This is exactly what the 26 brave people who stopped traffic on the bridge were trying to do." As they now go on a year and a half caught up in this legal circus, Palestinians are starving and dying because of the Zionist manufactured famine. We receive news every day of people being shot by Israeli occupation forces at aid stations where instead of food, they face death. Protesting against genocide is the right thing to do. I will be watching your participation in this case closely, as will thousands of people around the world. And again, ask you to drop the restitution now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ash. Our next speaker is Abby Amit. Abby?
Hi there. My name's Abby Amit. I'm a lifelong Bay Area resident and the child of Israeli immigrants. I want to say that this is a politically motivated prosecution that's draining our city's public resources. Your restitution claim forces Golden Gate 26 to trial, which costs taxpayers more than the claim itself, as Judge Conroy already noted. I also think it's worth grounding things in the present, because the situation has gotten significantly worse since April 15th. Today, the United Nations has formally declared a famine in the Gaza Strip, where more than 500,000 Palestinians face widespread starvation, destitution, and preventable death. The UN's top humanitarian official, Tom Fletcher, spoke from Geneva today saying, "It is a famine in 2025, the 21st century famine, washed over by drones and the most advanced military technology in history. It is a famine openly promoted by some as Israeli leaders as a weapon of war. It is a famine on all of our watch. Everyone owns this. The Gaza famine is the world's famine." So I ask you, if this costs taxpayer money so much to force the Golden Gate 26 to trial, whose interests are you benefiting? Didn't you pick your job to act as a public servant, to serve the city and county of San Francisco, who's populated by many whose families are personally
Abby, your time is concluded.
Please drop the restitution. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Abby. Our next speaker this morning is Olivia Ma. Olivia, please go ahead.
Hi, my name's Olivia, and I am calling to add my voice to the chorus, joining my neighbors here to urge you to please drop these outrageous restitution charges. As everyone has said, the precedent here is terrifying. Clearly, between all of us calling, as well as speakers calling to talk about urging you to be on the right side of climate justice, as well as the larger call for social justice. Your constituents are your moral compass. Clearly, you know, what is of interest to the people is what ultimately benefits you and the entire Bay Area. So please listen, hear us, drop these charges. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Our next speaker is Amina Habib. Amina, please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Amina. I am a San Francisco resident, and I'm calling to urge you to drop the restitution charges against the Golden Gate 26. As a resident of San Francisco, I have seen city jobs and resources and bus lines be cut, and taxpayer dollars being cut for not used for the right resources that will benefit us residents. And this prosecution will only add to that. This restitution claim forces the GG26 to trial and costs taxpayers more than the claim itself, as noted by Judge Conroy and other speakers earlier. And I urge you to drop the charges so taxpayer money can go towards benefiting our city rather than prosecuting activism. Thank you.
Thank you, Amina. Our next speaker this morning is Haijin Shin. Haijin, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you. My name is Haijin, and I'm calling to urge the Golden Gate Bridge District Board of Directors to drop the restitution claim. As a longtime resident, I've been shocked and saddened to learn that the Golden Gate Bridge, an icon of San Francisco and the Bay Area at large, is being exploited to target these protesters. And not just any protesters, but protesters seeking to condemn and stop the egregious catastrophe of genocide in the Gaza Strip. While Donald Trump is actively gutting each system of checks and balances in this country to target his enemies and attack dissent, it is really disturbing and saddening and intolerable to me that the Bridge Authority is also carrying out Trump-like tactics to silence protest. Moreover, this is pulling our public resources to punish free speech and action against the devastating genocide of Palestinians in Gaza, one of the foremost human rights issues of our time. I urge the board to listen to its constituents and its conscience. I believe there is still time to make things right, at least on this, and to stand on the right side of history once more. Thank you.
Thank you, Haijin. Our next speaker is Zara H. Zara, please go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Zahra. I'm a resident of Berkeley, and I work for a union representing thousands of workers in San Francisco, and I urge you to drop this restitution. Mayor Judas, I'd like to speak to you directly and respectfully. My mother signed a petition urging all the board members to drop the restitution, and to her and my surprise, she received a one-word reply from you: no. She emailed you again in an effort to change your mind and heart, and you replied again, no. I hope you realize the ire and hatred within your response. The Golden Gate 26 are people with a conscience to stop business as usual while our brothers and sisters are being relentlessly martyred by our government, only separated from us by artificial borders. And your response to our request to stand with our people, to stand on the right side of history, is no. Mayor Judas and all other respected board members, please hone into your moral conscience and drop the restitution. Failure to do so will force your constituents to withdraw our trust from you. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to poll the room, if you don't mind. That is the last of the speakers on my list. Thank you. I'll start polling now. Is there anyone else that's joined us this morning that would like to speak? Please press ** to unmute yourself and let me know.
Yes, I would like to speak.
I would also like to speak.
I just need everyone to go in order, so if you could just give me one moment. I did hear somebody say they'd like to speak first. Was that Eileen Khan? I recognize your voice from last time.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. If you will just give me one moment, Eileen, I've got to go in order, so let me just get some names down and then we'll come back to you. The next person that's joined that would like to speak, please unmute by pressing ** and giving me your name.
I would like to speak Sean O'Connor.
Thank you, Sean. The next person that would like to speak this morning, please press ** to unmute yourself and give me your name.
Hello, my name is Charlotte Borum. I would like to speak.
Charlotte, okay, thank you. The next person that would like to speak this morning, please unmute yourself and give me your name. Again, if there's anyone else that would like to speak this morning, you'll need to press ** to unmute yourself and give me your name. Okay, I'm not hearing anybody else, so our next speaker will be Eileen Khan. Eileen, go ahead. You'll have 1 minute.
Yes, this is again in support of dropping the claim for the Golden Gate 26. I understand there's 19 members on this board, and I'm speaking to all 19 of you. Some of you have been on this board since 2001. You've all been appointed by your various counties. There's 6 counties that you represent. All of those counties are in the Bay Area or the extended Bay Area up north in the Mendocino area. The question is, those people that have been newly appointed, that are young, that have affiliations with the Sierra Club and have done some really good work in the past, I strongly urge you to stand up and put a motion on the table to take a vote. You have heard now twice at board meetings from people that feel strongly that these charges or this claim needs to be eliminated and dropped. And I urge you, especially the new people on the committee that have been appointed since 2021, there's 9 of you. I urge all of you to stand up, do the right thing, be on the right side of history, and please, please put this to a motion. There's 9 of you that are young and enthusiastic.
Eileen, you're at the end of your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker this morning is Sean O'Connor. Sean, go ahead, please.
Hi, I'm Sean O'Connor. I am an Oakland resident. Everyone else has already spoken to the moral righteousness of these protesters. I agree with that 100%, but I want to talk more practically that this claim is a waste of taxpayer money. The high restitution claim is costing us more money than the claim itself by forcing the case to trial. It's also preventing the felony charges from being reduced to a misdemeanor. And whether you agree or disagree with the protesters, protesting and blocking traffic should not be a felony. The restitution claim is making an extreme and disproportionate escalation to the legal charges against protesters who didn't hurt anyone. The board has never set restitution for any traffic closure case before now, including some far more morally dubious anti-vaccine protesters in 2021 who actually hurt people with their protests. So why single out these anti-genocide protesters? These people will go down in history alongside the many other historic protests on the bridge. So your own website highlights, please stand on the right side of history with them and make a motion to drop the claim. I don't want my taxpayer dollars used to repress protesters in this politically motivated restitution claim. Do the right thing, drop the claim. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Our next speaker this morning is Charlotte Borum. Charlotte, go ahead, please.
Good morning. My name is Charlotte Borum, though some of you may know me as Madam Folly. I am reaching out. I'm a resident of San Francisco, and I'm calling to urge the Golden Gate Bridge District Board of Directors to immediately drop the restitution claim against the Golden Gate 26. What has happened during this protest is something that has happened over and over and over again. There's a long history of doing this tactic, as my fellow constituents have said, and there's no precedent that justifies what is being done today. This is a huge cost to taxpayers during a time when incredibly important services are being stripped from San Francisco residents. I particularly want to draw attention to the money that is being stripped from Prop C that directly takes away housing from trans youth. On a moral standing, this is something that is unforgivable to the residents of San Francisco, and I guarantee we will not stop until these claims are dropped. But beyond that our voice is heard. I would further like to say that I will be watching closely as well every. Thank you. I urge you to drop the charges.
Thank you, Charlotte. Madam Secretary, we have no other speakers this morning.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you. And I have no additional speaker cards for the room, so I'm going to turn this back over to you. That concludes public comment.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments this morning. This concludes our public comment item on today's agenda. We're going to move on to item number 5 to approve the consent agenda. And before we take our vote, are there any questions from board members on the consent agenda? If none, I'd like to hear a motion to approve the consent agenda. So moved. Is there a second? Second. Thank you. All those in favor, or any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Let the record show there is no opposition and the motion passes. Move on to item number 6A, which is our report of the general manager. Dennis, please proceed with your report.
Yes, President Cochran, members of the board, I would like to remind everyone listening that the Bridge District supports lawful expressive activities at the Golden Gate Bridge that are organized in accordance with the rules and regulations set forth in the district's master ordinance. These rules and regulations strike a balance between protesters' First Amendment rights and public safety. Any individual organizations that wish to obtain a permit for expressive activities at the bridge may do so at our website. And I mention that because it's pretty routine. One of the speakers that spoke in front of you, Cynthia, who approached the podium with her service dog, Lucky, is a member of Code Pink. They regularly protest at the bridge, and they always comply with the regulations. And tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., there'll be an expressive activity at the Larkspur Ferry Terminal. They applied for a permit. They'll have signs. They'll have a small podium. You'll see them on the news, and they will do so safely. The district does not issue permits for expressive activities that endanger the public, such as protesting on the roadway. With respect to other Bridge District activities, last Friday marked the 55th anniversary of our Golden Gate Ferry system. It'd be remiss not to mark the passage of time. With respect to travel in the Golden Gate corridor, we're still well below pre-pandemic levels. Compared to 2019, July bridge traffic was down 14%, ferry ridership was down 28%, and bus ridership was down 47%. Where we see the greatest downturn in travel in Golden Gate corridor is during the commute period by all modes. Recreational travel seems to be mostly back, but there is still not much commute. However, in spite of all that, we are seeing slow, steady upward growth in travel in the corridor. Southbound bridge traffic in July was up 1% compared to a year ago. Bus ridership was up 8% compared to a year ago, and ferry ridership was up 3% compared to a year ago. That now brings us to my favorite part of the meeting, which is where we recognize folks for their service. And I want to start off by inviting Director Barbara Parr to come join President Cochran and I at the front. On Monday, Director Parr will celebrate 25 years of service as a Golden Gate Bridge board member. She is appointed by the Napa County Board of Supervisors. She's the sole representative from Napa County. During those 25 years, the bridge has seen rather significant changes. The advent of all electronic tolling, discussions and ultimate implementation and construction of a suicide barrier. Barbara Parr was president when the pandemic hit, which was an incredibly challenging, difficult time for the Bridge District, and she navigated us through the darkest days of the pandemic. She's incredibly active, both as public service and community service. My staff report has a long listing. I won't read them all because it is getting late. We would be here for quite a while. Her undergraduate degree is from Iowa. Her master's is from Sonoma State, and she has a doctorate from USC. So, as a Cal person, I am allowed to say that with great pain. But anyway, we're so thrilled to recognize her 25 years. She's been here through some, rather, as I earlier said, some momentous times, but particularly when the pandemic hit, she was our president, and we leaned on her, and she got us through those dark days. So, thank you, Director Parr.
Thank you. I actually wrote a couple things, so I didn't go on forever. First of all, of course, I need to thank the Napa County supervisors for trusting that I'll protect and enhance Napa County's reputation and their goals in the region. As a single representative, that's a different kind of responsibility because anytime Napa comes up, people look at me and I go, sure. I do love the bridge. My grandkids know it as Nana's Bridge. My oldest grandchild is 25, born my first year on the board. And I know the icon belongs to all of us, so I'm not the least bit shy when I thank and praise those who did the real work here, the dedicated and hardworking employees. And I know that they're all fellow bridge lovers because as they come up and talk to us, to a person, they tell us how honored they are to be here and how much they love the bridge. And I think that reflects all of us, because as you can see today in the hearings, they see us as making all of the decisions. We know we don't, but they think. So I'd also like to thank the courageous managers who help us know enough to make solid, lasting decisions and to keep the public and the public who keep us honest, as this morning, with their involvement with us. The board is only as good as you all make us. And no, I'm not in for another 25. I have been heard to joke that I want my family to sneak my ashes onto the bridge and dump me over. So if you see my family, don't look. Because somebody certainly with a uniform will come out and stop them. So maybe I will be here in another 25 years, but I don't want you to know that. Anyway, it's been an honor to serve with a wide variety of board members as well as the employees. And again, thank you. We love this bridge.
Next up, we have the Employee of the Month. And this month, the Employee of the Month committee nominated 3 employees. Unfortunately, one of them can't be here today because he's on leave, Mr. Bauer. But I would ask our bridge manager, Dave Rivera, to escort painter Wyatt Bowles and paint laborer Santino Paschini to the front of the room. They're recognized for their hard work and outstanding contributions in the renovation on the outside of this building. So when you leave the meeting today, be sure and look up at what they did. They did a tremendous job involving the texture and repainting the outside of the building, stopping a lot of the leaks that we had. And their colleagues recognized them for their dedication, their creativity, their ability to learn to do new tasks. And they went beyond the call of duty and completion of all that was asked of them. Their teamwork and professionalism is recognized by their colleagues, and it exuded throughout the often painstaking process, and it was noticed by their colleagues. They're well deserving of this, and their beautiful craftsmanship, their standard of excellence and commitment to the project they poured their hearts and soul into is recognized by their colleagues. So when visiting the bridge building here, take a look, and these are the folks that made it happen.
Good. I don't even say really. You know, we just did our job the best we could, and it turned out really good.
You can't beat that. No.
We wouldn't be able to do it without Jared. Yeah. Definitely. He was a big help with that. Yeah. Not a talker.
Yeah, he definitely brought a lot of knowledge to the job, and he's a good worker. Can't wait to have him back. Definitely need him here, and yeah.
Thank you very much. Then I apologize. I have one more recognition that I skipped over. Shame on me. Amrit reminded me. We have a recognition for someone that all of you know in this room, and that's Roger Luria. Roger's our bridge captain, and please welcome him to the front for his 20-year service award. David? Roger's part of the original cohort of patrol officers that we hired. He was then promoted to bridge sergeant, then promoted to bridge lieutenant, and now he serves as a bridge captain, responsible for the security team as well as the operations team that manages the tow trucks and the zipper truck that moves the barrier every day. So thank you for all your leadership, Roger, and thank you for your 20 years of service with the district.
Thank you very much for this recognition. I always try to remember when you're in service, you're providing something for others. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank my staff that are here, my command staff, for all the coaching and support through the years. Things have changed greatly since I was hired in 2005 under Captain Mike Licati, General Manager Celia Cooper-Smith. And it's been an adventure, and I'm very thankful to work for the district. I'm very privileged and honored to provide these services for the district. So thank you very much for this recognition.
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Are there any questions of the General Manager's report? If not, Dennis, thank you for the report. We're going to move on to item.
I had a question. No, just, a statement. A statement. I just wanted to. No, I appreciate the free speech this morning. I just want to acknowledge all that. But I also wanted to kind of touch back on the pension stuff. I didn't mention that. We had our last board meeting, and I still hope that you guys are talking about putting more money in the pension fund, because even if we're hitting our marks, the management we have now are doing much better, and there's a whole process to go through there. But I just want to keep highlighting that, and I hope there's something we can do this year and going forward. And I know you guys are in that process, but that's one of the big issues we have here, and I just want to keep bringing it.
Thanks. It's in my report, so it's something we can talk about. But yeah, the staff is committed. Our employees participate in one of 4 different pension plans. This one's struggling. So we have a moral obligation to fix it. Our intent is to fix it. We did a 1-year contract extension with the ATU because we're not ready to fix it. We didn't want employees not to get a raise while we went through that. But hopefully in the next 12 months, we'll be able to come back with a variety of options and solutions to fix it. Those solutions will be very expensive for this organization, and staff acknowledges that. But there'll also have to be some changes with respect to how it's governed, and there's a couple different paths, and it's complicated. But just wanted to publicly state that the district is committed to fixing the Golden Gate Amalgamated Transit pension, which does need significant help.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Thank you. Now let's move on to Attorney's report. Kim is here to provide us with the report. Kim, please proceed.
Thank you, President Cochran. My written report's before you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And then we will have 2 closed sessions at the end of the meetings today, both for existing litigation. One, the Catherine Ashworth case, and then the second one being the Bridges case against HNTV regarding the suicide deterrent.
Are there any questions of Kim? If not, thank you. We'll move on to item number 6C, the report of the district engineer. The engineer's report can be found in the Building and Operating Committee's meeting packet. That's agenda item number 7. And John, will you present this report?
Yes, thank you, Director Cochran, President, members of the board. As noted, my written report is in the packet from the Building and Operating Committee. I just want to highlight a few projects, bring to your attention. San Francisco Ferry Terminal, we're continuing work at the East Berth, which has been closed down for a while, but we are progressing on the repairs to that facility. Similarly, at the Larkspur Ferry Terminal, Berth 1 has been out of service, and we are making good progress on that. The hydraulic cylinders are repaired, and the gangway repairs are progressing nicely. However, we are experiencing some delays receiving electrical equipment, both for the bridge electrical repair project and the San Rafael Bus facility, the charging station chargers themselves. And I also wanted to highlight that South Toledo will be having a ceremony for their landside improvement projects. That will be September 5th at 8:30 in South Toledo. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions on the rest of my report.
Okay. Thank you, John. Any questions of John? Not, we'll move on to item 8A on the agenda, which is a report from yesterday's Building and Operating Committee. Chair Gabarino, please begin your committee report.
Thank you, President Cochran. The Building and Operating Committee recommends approval of item number 8A1 to approve award of contract number 2025B091 P25 Phase 2 radio upgrade to Tate Communications of Houston, Texas, to upgrade the district's radio system for a 10-year term in not to exceed amount of $9,622,216.
and authorize a contract contingency in the amount of $1,571,034 as detailed in the staff report, and I so move.
Here a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions related to this item? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Hearing none, let the record show there's no opposition to this motion. Evelina, please continue with your report.
Thank you once again. The last item for recommendation is item number 882, which is to authorize execution of the 10th Amendment to Professional Services Agreement number 2017-B15, Golden Gate Bridge Toll Gantry Design Services with ACCOM of Oakland, California, in an amount not to exceed $782,653 for additional design services, and establish 10% contingency for the amendment of the amount of $78,265, with the understanding that sufficient funds are available in the fiscal year 2025-2026 Bridge Division capital budget for project number 1820, Toll Plaza Gantry Construction. To finance these actions as detailed in the staff report, I so move.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Second. Are there any questions relating to this item? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Hearing none, let the record show there's no opposition and the motion passes. Chair Gabarino, do you have anything further to report?
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. There are no addresses to the board under item number 9, and we have no special order of business under item number 10. Number 11 is unfinished business, which I will turn back to our attorney, Kim Manolis. Closing session report. Kim, please take it. Closed session.
Thank you, President Cochran. At this time, the board will go into closed session for 2 conferences with legal counsel, both for existing litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9D2. The first case being Catherine Ashworth versus the Bridge District, and the second case being the Bridge District versus HNTB Corporation.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for keeping your phones on mute while we remain in closed session this morning. We'll be back shortly. Thank you.
We're back in open session.
Coming out of closed session, the board met in closed session for the 2 matters that are on the agenda. As to the first matter, the Ashworth case, the board provided appropriate guidance to its lawyer as to how to handle the matter, and the second matter was just a briefing as to the HNTB. So.
Okay, thank you, Kim, for providing a report out. Now, we have nothing under item number 12, which is new business. Number item 13 is communications. The revised communication list is available, provided to you. As a reminder, please contact the district secretary's office for copies of any communication you are interested in seeing. Colleagues, we are now reached the end of our agenda, and there are no further items to be presented to the board. I have a motion to adjourn the meeting. So, a second. With that, we are concluded at 11.
It's hard to see that clock, isn't it?
I can see it. I can see it.
I couldn't see it yet.
Here you go.